friends, how are you doing? My name is Lauren. This is Sam. He's here. We're on page 11. We know the drill. Let's go. Here's page 11. I really love a lot of the manicures on this page. Yeah, really proud of some of these, so let's just go through them. I consider these to be a little deviant in the sense that sometimes I get my inspiration from the opposite of my ideas. So for example, I wanted to do a deep sea manicure with these jellyfish from this jellyfish plate that Maniology put out, and they also put out a plate with some rays, some like skates and rays, stingrays, whatever. This is from another earlier plate as well. So I guess like when I think it's going to be in the deep sea, I think, well, the colors ought to be dark, right? So that's why I chose these bright colors, just to be opposite of that. I think it was a good idea to add like these sort of halos of light around here. But yeah, it just gives it like a really trippy kind of look. Really interesting. So I like how it turned out. I used like sort of a sponge background there, and then I did the sponge highlight. That's that really atrocious orange color that makes me sick. So yeah, I just used it mostly right there, but I like how this turned out. These are from another Maniology plate that is so cute. It's these little mercats or whatever. They're super, super cute. I added the little like cheeks, rosy cheeks on there, and a little sparkly thing for the pearl. And I was using some toppers for this to make that effect. So I think I probably just painted them on, like not dry brushing and not sponging, but I think I just kind of did streaks of the colors so they mixed together. And then I put a little bit of a bubble background there just to give it a little more depth and interest. But yeah, it's super cute. This was with another Maniology plate. Can you tell they're my fave? This one was about like these comic books, and I don't know why, but the first thing I thought of was the Purple People Eater. And I was just thinking, like, you know, in the song, it doesn't specify that the people eater is purple or if the people are purple. So I made the people purple, and whoever's eating them can be whatever color they like, I suppose, maybe orange. But anyway, yeah, I was just sort of doing a purple people eater. I don't know. It's pretty funny, and I really like all the textures and things. I'm happy with the colors I picked out as well. So yeah, I cobbled it together a little bit, and yeah, I think they look pretty cool. Just a nice design using some foil transfer with regular polish. So probably use sticky black, which is mixed results at best. But yeah, I use like some holographic foils in the back there. You can kind of see like the filigree, and then just some plain pink blossoms in front. So yeah, looks nice. This one's called Study of Stars, and I just wanted to make it look like a naturalist's notebook maybe, or some kind of instructional or educational book about beachcombing and starfish or whatever. So Maniology, shocker, put out a little starfish plate. So I used some of the text on there just to kind of make it look, yeah, like it was just from the pages of a book or something. And yeah, this turned out to be kind of weirdly popular. I was a little surprised, but yeah, I also like it too, so I see the appeal. I don't think I did these for any particular reason, but I got this plate from Manitude. There's two companies. There's Manitude and Manuscript, and I get them mixed up. But anyway, it's one of those. So they had like a plate with some coffee and tea kind of stuff. And then I used those MXM plates from the coffee and tea as well. And I added these like latte clouds in the background. So I did a little surgery here to kind of cut off this angel and put him in this little cup here. And the intention here was to sort of make this look like tea leaves, like tea leaf readings, you know? So I don't know. I really like the stoneware look of adding this. It's the polish is Cirque Hatch, so Cirque Colors Hatch, and yeah, I like how they turned out. I added a little bit of shading on the angel here, and I like the glitter, and yeah, I mean they're a little weird, but so am I. This is that Mickey Mouse plate again. I did 2 manicures for that one. This one I did like a split tone kind of effect, and it's pretty easy to do, but it's a little bit fiddly. So, I mean, basically I'm just stamping, or I'm painting the colors on, and then I'm stamping in the opposite color. And I've just taken like a scraper card, and I'm just removing a straight line of the pickup, and then I've just tried my best to line it up. You know, I can sort of eyeball it and take off more if you need to or whatever. So yeah, I just wanted to do like a black and white thing. I think it looks the best here, where it looks like the background and everything like that actually looks like it might be from the cartoon. So I just rolled with that for the rest of this design, and yeah, I'm really happy with how it came out. It looks pretty seamless. Maybe at first glance it's not really obvious what's going on, but I like that kind of thing, just like in the details, you know. I'm extremely proud of this one. I did this sort of just to step up my game a little bit with my shading and my color blending, and I feel like this might have gotten overlooked because they look like decals. I mean, not to like toot my own horn too much or anything, but they look really freaking real. Yeah, I just, as you can tell, I went all out with my shading and everything, and they're precious. Look at the mushrooms there, and look at the shading on the little boy, on the baby, tulip. I mean, yeah, I'm very, very proud. I was surprised when I made this. I was like, me? But yeah, this manicure kind of kicked off my my adventure into this, I would call advanced stamping, I guess. I don't know if that sounds egotistical or whatever, but I think maybe that's just the best way to describe it. It's advanced technique, and I'm curious if y'all are interested in going into a little more of this. I'm gonna guess yeah, but yeah, let me know how you feel about adding content that's a little more painterly like this, because yeah, I think this is really beautiful. This was with some Maniology plates as well. I believe this was an MXM one, like the Christmas one, but I was using it to be not Christmassy, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the Christmas one. But yeah, I was literally just using it to use a Christmas plate that's not Christmassy. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, nothing about that. I guess I was just trying to play with the plates during a non-Christmas time. Yeah, so there's a nail polish company called Blank. I think it's Blank Beauty. And they have kiosks physically, I think, out in the real world, and you can color match, like on the website or on the machine, any color you want. And so they offered to send me some polish, but I just couldn't think of any colors I wanted matched. Like, part of me was like, is there anything around my house that needs a touch-up, you know? Like, but I just couldn't think of anything really. And so somebody recommended, one of the people that was representing the company said, do you want to do some Sam colors? And so I physically sent them some feathers. I think it's what they asked for. I was a little confused on it. I don't swatch. Like, I don't collect polish. I've never done a swatch in my life. I just don't really care about polish. I care about the art and the stamping. But anyway, so I sent them these feathers, and I guess they tried their best to color match them. And I mean, I don't know if they actually use the feathers as reference or not, because I just got these like sort of basic colors. But I did a video on this, and you can see all about it. One thing that's great about them is that they do stamp, so you can use them as stamping polish. So I use the nail polish for the background and also for these colors here. So the only color they didn't send me is this white. So that's just in honor of Sam and all his little colors. So he's got his green feathers, his beak, his blue feathers, which honestly, he's half green and half blue, but the blues are hidden until he flies. And then underneath his wings is red. But yeah, there's a video for this further back on my feed that you can check out, where I go, it's like an hour long, but I go through just about the polish and about this manicure and everything. These were not popular, and I don't know why, because I think they look really badass. They're so cool. I combined these two Maniology plates, the octopus one and these layered splashes. Very happy with this effect here. I added a little bit more kind of like design down here to kind of just make it look like the water. Yeah, I think it looks super realistic. Very happy with that. The red and the white is nice contrast, and the little extra dots of white. I'm using this this octopus plate right now actually on my nails. So I don't know if you noticed, but I switched them over from the snakes to the octopus. So this is like a magnetic red background, and yeah, I've got some tentacles on there instead of the snakes. This is Creepy Tiki plates. Probably one of my favorite MXM plates. Definitely one of my favorite Halloween ones. But yeah, I think I did this for a collab. I think so. But yeah, pretty busy background there. I'm thinking it's sponged. I like how the ghost is sort of translucent. When I was making this, I was very like unsure about these colors, especially this sort of light brown. But you know how I like to carry the colors over. I didn't want to introduce like a different kind of brown. So I don't know. I was feeling like these colors weren't really doing any favors, but I mean, I think it's one of those things I'm just overthinking. I like how it's a little darker and it kind of looks like maybe it's in the evening time. And I mean, look at his little legs. Come on. I did this one with the very first Clear Jelly stamper plate I ever bought. It was unbelievably expensive, but for me at the time, I was like, oh my God, am I really gonna pay like $15 for a plate? And I did, because I just thought it was awesome. It was like one of those first plates that kind of made my heart jump, you know, that wasn't like a Maniology one. I mean, sorry, I just love Maniology. I mostly have Maniology plates. I mean, I'm sorry, it's just, it is what it is. But yeah, honestly, that plate was such a disappointment. I don't know if I got a bum one or what, but the pickup is terrible. And the only advice is, well, you got to use a CJS polish. But I mean, I was just starting out and everything, and I wasn't about to go out and buy a bunch of polishes and all that stuff too, because I was just kind of turned off by the whole thing. But so it had kind of just sat in my little folder by itself for a very long time, and me just sort of silently hating it. But at this point, I have acquired some CJS polishes, and I did that with the plate, and oh my God, it actually worked. Go figure. So yeah, I mean, still a little tricky for me to use. The lines are like microscopic. I don't know. I'm happy that I made this manicure. This is pretty much like what I wanted to make back in 2020, but wasn't able to. But yeah, ta-da, finally. Sometimes it only takes like 5 years, right? This was a set that I actually wore. So the other nail has some other different, it has like a little, like the pop-up box that says like okay, you know what I'm talking about, like on an old Windows computer. So yeah, I made these and I wore them, and I really had fun wearing them. They're kind of like unusual for me, I thought, but I was just really vibing with it. And my husband was like, I don't think they're really you. And I was like, well, you didn't know me in my caboodles era, okay? Because I was totally rocking these. But yeah, they're just fun. These I did also just for this plate. That's a stretch. But yeah, just a fun background there. And I used this set to make a little stop motion with Playmobil. You probably maybe saw a video I did a while back where I was unboxing some Playmobil Everdreamers, and then I was doing a manicure based on that. I'm like a huge fan of Playmobil. I've always had them growing up. Not a Lego person, sorry, not sorry, but Playmobil, I'm obsessed. And I have so much of it now, like as an adult. It's ridiculous. I don't know, they just make me so happy. So I made a little stop motion for this. It's only like 6 seconds long. I'll play it here. But yeah, it was super fun to make. It really wasn't time consuming at all to do that stop motion. As you can probably tell, it was only like a few movements, but it took forever to do the sound on it. And so I was trying all these things, like how to make that paintbrush sound. And what ended up working was using a paintbrush on a piece of styrofoam just to make that sort of like sound of her painting. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. Nobody liked them, but that's okay. I did these for one of the videos on YouTube, so you can go check that one out. This was a stamp along one where I used this plate where I was just sort of doing like a little walk through the woods here, or walk through the neighborhood. And yeah, I like how it turned out, so go check out that video. It's kind of a nice relaxing one. This is also a YouTube manicure done with CJS Plate of the Month, and that's also a really cute video, so you can look at that one as well. The manicure is pretty simple, but it was really fun to put together. Just love the layering and everything, and I like how simple this one is. Sometimes, you know how I gotta make things really complicated, but this one's just short and sweet. This was a PR set, and obviously it's about smoking. I'm not a smoker, but yeah, I just thought these were really fun, like Puff the Magic Dragon kind of thing. And yeah, I mean, you get it, right? There's nothing really to say about it, but I thought they were fun. This was an art therapy set. I did this one to process some things I was going through. This was a double duty kind of thing because at the time, this was right before I got married and we had to fly out to California so I could kind of like officially meet the folks and stuff. And my mom was a pilot growing up, and I was in the plane when she was learning to fly. Like, bro, I've been through some pretty like hairy airplane scenarios. Like, I don't know why we were in the plane with her while she was practicing like touch and goes and stuff, but anyway, like for a long period of time I was just so unfazed by like planes and death and everything. Like, my sister would always be crying, but I mean, I don't know, I was just like, man, screw it. But anyway, I don't know, for whatever reason on this trip, I was just so anxious. I was so anxious about it. Like, I don't know why. I really don't know. It wasn't about meeting the parents. It wasn't about, I don't know. I just, for some reason, I just had crazy anxiety about it. And when we got on the plane, like, as we were taxiing and everything, I actually started to cry. Like, that's never happened to me. I've been on hundreds of planes, hundreds. I've traveled all over the world, and I don't know what happened. I was just so sure we were gonna die. So this is sort of like the airplane windows. Just, I don't know. I was just trying to like, yeah, anyway, I was just trying to figure out why I was freaking out so bad. But, and also right around that time, my uncle had passed away, and, he had it happened very suddenly. I guess he had been fine, and then all of a sudden he was in hospice and he was gone. So, I knew him when I was younger, but I haven't seen him in a very long time. So not very close or anything, but it's always weird when a relative dies who's not that old, because he's like my parents' age, or actually he's younger. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, so that was just about that. It's pretty morbid looking, but I was just feeling very morbid. So yeah, anyway, that's just what that was about. I think it's really pretty here with those colors and everything. It's sort of like a very calming color palette for this like very tortured scene here. These were for the MXM collab, for that little gnomes plate, the little gonks or whatever. They're so cute. Yeah, just a lot of reverse stamping. Very unusual for me to do just that like white background. Like, that's so crazy for me. But yeah, I was just doing like a ton of reverse stamping on there and trying to be really careful. I think I messed up right there, but other than that, I think they look pretty good. Another PR set with the Winnie the Pooh plates. Yeah, I'm not like the biggest Winnie the Pooh fan, but I just wanted to make it look like the books, what I assume they look like. But yeah, I don't know. There's nothing really to say about these. They're sort of cute, but they're also kind of boring. I don't know why I put these in the book. These were also PR for a macrame plate, and I tried to do this thing where I was like stamping the pattern, but it just didn't pan out. So it looks very random, but I assure you it wasn't meant to be. I guess you can kind of, no, you can't. Anyway, I mean, yeah, it looks okay. I remember when I was making this, I didn't want to use this like pure white color. I wanted it to be more, like raffia colored, or, like macrame is usually made with sort of like was it jute? Like earthy colored, right? But this background is so busy and bold that would have just drowned. So, and double stamping is too risky because there's too many fine lines. There's too much opportunity for it to be misaligned. So yeah, I mean, they look cool. I have no problem with them. It wasn't exactly what I was going for, but they turned out all right. I think it's just a good way to demonstrate the patterns on the plate. Bohemia Stamping sent me some plates because they think I'm awesome, and it's because they're awesome. But yeah, I combined a couple things for this. There's the Bless Your Heart, and this is from the MXM Western plates from kind of a long time ago. And then, yeah, I mean, nothing really to say about it. I was just doing like a little Western, what do you call it? Coastal Cowgirl, yeah. So yeah, Coastal Cowgirl, that's the style here. I was feeling very brave about doing these pink outlines, so press F. These I did for a GNC challenge. The theme was Moroccan tiles, and that theme is kind of boring to me because you can literally just like stamp a couple times and then be done with it. So I tried to pick some colors of actual tiles. I actually looked up reference photos for this, you guys. Can you believe it? But yeah, I mean, you can see what it is. Nothing to explain here. I guess I like these textures and stuff on some of the tiles. And my only point of this was just to make each nail look really different. So yeah, I really like this one. I think is my fave, but that one's also nice. This was an extremely popular design I did with a CJS plate, layered plate. They released 3 tropical plates at the same time, and like, no shade on CJS because I really love their plates, obviously. Like, I have the subscription, and I own a lot of their plates, but not too many. They're in Canada, and it's a little costly for me. Sometimes they put out these plates where I'm just like, oh my God. So yeah, the 3 tropical plates, I just had to get them. So yeah, I was really happy to use them. I love the macaws here. This one is from a Moyu plate, and it's difficult to layer it. So I made these layer guides on Procreate to guide on how to kind of translate those Moyu plates. Of course, Moyu is gone, but the plate still exists. So I keep forgetting to upload that, but I'll upload those layer guides, and then if anyone needs to see how to do this, then it can be helped. But yeah, really beautiful colors here, really like it, and I made this into a full set that's available in my shop. And just again, if you want any of these nails but they're not in your size, just contact me and I can make them any size you like, or any shape or anything even. So yeah. I did this for YouTube. I had gotten these, I think it's Chenjin Tian. Sorry if that's wrong. These plates from AliExpress, and they're kind of dubious quality. It's sort of hit or miss what you get with these sort of off-brand ones on AliExpress, but I'm a gambler, what can I say? Yeah, so I made this manicure just to see, quote unquote, to see if they worked. I know they're gonna work, but you know. So yeah, this was a fun one to make, and I was kind of surprised how they came out. I like the addition of like this blue line here. Sam's on my shoulder. That's he's like, shut up. Yeah. So anyway, they're like half abstract, half realistic, and if you want to watch the video, that's also a fun one. So go check that out. I think they turned out really cool. Speaking of cool, this was using that Tomy plate and the octopus, and I'm really proud of it. I used that water marble plate for the background here. I wanted it to look like ink, like a squid ink, you know? So yeah, I just added that, and I really love how I just did this really subtle shading here. You know, I literally just swiped the color a couple times on those really key areas there, but it gives it so much life and depth, and I love just the colors reflecting and everything. Yeah, this really flew under the radar. I think maybe, like, you know how people scroll? I mean, you look at like, I spend hours on this, but people look at it for like 0.2 seconds, you know? So I think it just got lost in there, but for anyone that looked at it closely, I hope you enjoyed it because I'm very proud of these. I just think they look super cool. Yeah, so this is another kind of layered forest manicure like I like to do. It's a little simpler. I think this was for a GNC. It was for some kind of collab, I think. But yeah, I actually really scared of frogs. Not as much as I used to be. And like, look, I know the frog isn't gonna hurt me. Like, they're one of the derpiest animals on the planet. And I know I know they're harmless, but I'm so afraid of them touching me with their creepy little feet. Ugh. I don't like it. But so I was very brave to make this manicure. So much bravery on display today. This I did for a collab where the theme was silence, and that's a really, really interesting prompt for any art, really, but especially for nails. So I joined that one, and the first thing I thought of was I used to live in Iceland. I went there. Sorry, Sam is like talking in my ear. So I went to Iceland for 3 months one time, and then 5 months another time, where I was working at a hostel in a town called Vik, and that's in the very southern part of the country there. And yeah, so I've spent a lot of time in that country. I've been around so in Iceland, there's one road that goes around the whole country called the Ring Road. That's pretty much the only one. And I've been around it this way, and I've been around it this way. So I've been around the whole country, including the West Fjords. And one of the most awesome things I did when I was there was do this hike called Thorsmark. And you start off at this really fabulous waterfall, and you go up and up and up and up these stairs, and then you walk up and up and up to the top of this glacier. And then when you get up there, you're actually between two glaciers. And when you get on the ice up here, it is so silent. I have never experienced anything like that, where everything is just white and grayscale. There's really no color. There's nothing to create wind resistance. There's no grasses to be making noise or anything. You can very slightly hear the sound of water trickling very deep under the ice. But other than that, the sound of my heartbeat was like just pounding in my ears. You can hear your own blood circulating around. So I guess there's no such thing as silence, but that was the closest I've ever been. It was very trippy. And this entire hike was just one of the most epic things I've ever done. I'm not real physically active. I'm just not. It doesn't feel good to me. I've always been like that. So this was very challenging for me physically, and but it was so worth it. There was one part where you walk to where these glaciers kind of end, and then there's this endless valley. I mean, it just goes till the end of the earth. It doesn't even seem like the country is that big. And I have never seen, it brought me to my knees. I always thought that was kind of an expression, but it was so beautiful and profound. My knees buckled and I fell in the snow and I just cried. I had never seen anything like that. I took photos, but it doesn't do it even a lick of justice. None. You just cannot get the scale and the depth and, all the other things, the sounds and yeah, I mean, it's impossible to describe. If you ever get a chance to do this, do it. It is worth the pain. Yeah, and so you end up in this valley at the very end of it, and there's sort of a hostel there, and it goes to this riverbed, and it also kind of looks like this. And yeah, you hike into that hostel there, and they have hot tubs and everything, and yeah, really, really, really epic trip. And that's what this manicure is about. This is another manicure where I was trying really hard to add a lot of details and mixing different colors, trying to focus more on reflected light instead of just colors of things. So yeah, you can see this background, this very sunset fall background here, which probably smush. And then I've added some of this gold topper flakies here. Yeah, I'm happy with especially the owl. I'm really loving how these colors are reflected on his face. And I kind of like that it's sort of vaguely a story here, like the owl's up in the tree watching this rabbit run, and maybe this fox is in the base of the tree taking a little nap. Well, you don't know. It really reminds me of the movie Watership Down. I was obsessed with that movie as a kid, and also the book. One of my favorite movies of all time, definitely, right? I really wish that people give children a little more credit. Not that that was a children's movie. When that was made, I think it was made in the late 70s. Just because something was a cartoon, it didn't mean it was automatically for children. Cartoons were for everybody. And I think a lot of media in general was just made for everybody, Like now it seems very segregated, where we have adult shows and children's shows, and there's no crossover. And if there's ever any little off-color joke in a children's media, it's like, oh my god, how could this slip through, or it's subversive or whatever. But I mean, it's we're all just people having this pretty similar experience here, and children have complex minds just like we do. I mean, if children can understand and memorize 500,000 different kind of dinosaurs, I'm sure they can handle a little rabbit movie. But anyway, my point is that this did actually traumatize some people, I suppose, but I thought it was very beautiful. And I would love to just see more entertainment that's made for everybody. For example, I think SpongeBob is made for everybody. It's not really a kid's show because everyone can appreciate it. Does that make sense? it kind of bothers me that things like death are taboo. Certain subjects are taboo for children, even though they're so universal. You know, I guess it's lucky that we don't deal with death as much as we did anymore, and maybe that's why it's becoming more and more hard to talk about, because, you know, just our lifespans and stuff have gotten longer. And I think maybe even since the 70s, there's just people die a little less, you know, car accidents, things like that. So, anyway, I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but yeah, I really always, even as a child, very much appreciated things that didn't like insult my intelligence. Let me put it that way. And I liked feeling the full range of emotions and not just being, you know, entertained with silly songs and colors. I'm really happy with how these came out. I just had the idea when I saw this lock and key plate to make these like peepholes. So this was pretty tricky actually. I did a wood grain pattern, which was very layered with color, tried to make it look kind of real, like a door. And then I did a vignette around here. And then there is a solid color key hole on the plate. So I had to do some little fiddly things here, and so I actually cobbled together this outline from different pieces of other stamps, just straight lines and circles and stuff. So I had did that on top of these little like ghost female figures here. Well, I guess they don't have to be female, but some sexy ghosts right here. But yeah, I just thought the Peekaboo Club, it just popped into my head. Ghouls, ghouls, ghouls. It really goes with the MXM neon Halloween plates that we had. So I just think those are super fun. I really like how they turned out. I'm like so proud of these. I think they're fabulous. I was so proud of them when I made them. I love everything about it. I don't have any complaints. I think I crushed it. And I especially really liked how I went back in and added like the little just highlights of these really opaque glitters here. I don't know, it just adds a little sunlight to things, and of course the little hummingbird's throat. Yeah, this was kind of like, I just sort of wanted to make it look like you're at a zoo or walking through like a resort jungle or something like that. And yeah, I'm just really happy with them. I'm loving like just the illusion here, like the idea of kind of the shape of the plants in the background, and yeah, very pleased with those. And then after I did the jungle manicure, Hurricane Helene hit us, and it was one of the scariest things that's ever happened to me in my entire life. Never been through a natural disaster or even anywhere close to that. As of this video right now, we still have a massive hole in our roof. And yeah, I mean, I do have a video on my feed of, I think it was called like POV Hurricane Helene. And that video is just my personal experience of going through that storm. I didn't see it coming. I mean, I know there was supposed to be a storm and stuff, but it's like 800 miles away from us. And it had just been raining for days and days, and the ground was so saturated with water that all the trees started coming down. All the oak trees started coming down. And it's crazy because I always thought oak trees were like this symbol of like strength and longevity, but it was almost exclusively oak trees that fell, because I guess they have these shallow root systems, and maybe they're just real top heavy. I mean, I don't know, but they all came down. And oh my God, our street was completely destroyed. Everything's destroyed. It still is. If you're wondering how the recovery effort is going up here in North Carolina from the storm, it is not. Everything looks like a bomb went off. It's terrible. Yeah, the outreach and everything was unbelievable. The amount of volunteers that showed up from all over the world came and immediately got to work. We were without power here for 2 weeks, and I was trying to heat stuff up with like literally wet sticks and stuff, and this old camp stove. And I mean, yeah, it was rough. It was rough. I mean, we didn't even have cell phone for weeks. My husband wasn't even here. It was just me. He does search and rescue in a different county, and so he went over there to go do that. But no one expected this, and so he was trapped over there for 3 days because the roads were just flooded with water. So yeah, so this manicure was one of 2 that I made just to be like Black Mountain Strong. Pretty much every town around here just has their name plus strong at the end, like just as a little morale booster, signs everywhere. Yeah, it's still really interesting because like pretty much wherever you go, like if you go to the thrift store, if you go other places, like there's usually like bins sitting out where there's just free stuff, like free food or free supplies and stuff. So like there's still quite a lot of free things around. There's actually a free grocery store That's a little ways away from here. You can just go in and grab whatever you want. So yeah, the amount of donations and stuff we got was insane. And we also were so lucky to have volunteers come and cut down all of the trees and stuff that were on our house. We did have to pay a company to come in with a gigantic crane. We had a 110-foot tree, well, 3 of them. We had 7 trees total in the house, and 3 large, like over 100 feet trees that spanned the entire house and then over to the edge of it. So it took them 9 hours solid. They worked into the dark, taking those trees off our house, just the ones off the house. So yeah, that was super intense. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. There's plenty of stuff to look at if you want to know more about that. But yeah, this was just a little morale boosting for me. This is kind of like the rain and the tears. But yeah, oh my God. Wow. So that was page 11. I guess there was kind of some heavy stuff on here. I didn't really think about that when I started this. But yeah, some personal stories and some, yeah, some tragedies and whatnot. But that's life. We're all recovering from the storm and all that stuff. But anyway, let me know which is your favorite set. I really have a hard time choosing on this page. Pretty tough. Kind of leaning toward these guys, but I don't know. They're all pretty great. I like them. So yeah, but let me know if you can find a darling for yourself. And until next time, bye.